Ray Tonga is the automotive advisor for the government of Canada in Ontario. I should also add he had an illustrious career at Toyota, ended up in the final years actually running Toyota of Canada. But Ray, here we are at the MBS conference and you've got some big news to announce. What is it?
Yeah, so I've been working very closely with Michigan, and today we formally signed a memorandum of understanding between the Premier and the Governor Snyder that we want to collaborate and we really want to develop a super cluster within the Great Lakes. So obviously Michigan and Ontario are the starting point. But I think it's so exciting because there are so many good things we can do together because we have a lot of resources, you have a lot of resources, you bring them together, we're going to build some synergy.
Very interesting to see a province in Canada and a state in the United States joining together for a memorandum of understanding to work together in the automotive industry. Why? What are the advantages?
Because we are so integrated. If you look at between Ontario and Michigan, there's about 259,000 jobs that are integrated within each other. So if you set up a plant in Ontario or Michigan, basically the supply chain is shared, and that's where the jobs are coming from. So that is one element. But we also think about the innovation agenda. And innovation agendas, if you think of the super clusters, the Silicon Valley is probably one of the better examples. And a lot of our people right now are going to Silicon Valley. But the auto industry is right here. They're between Ontario, Michigan, and the Great Lakes states. We are the biggest cluster in the world. 8 million units are in this cluster. We have over 300 R&D centers. We have thousands of, I think it's around 89,000 engineers. Ontario creates about 39,000 STEM graduates per year. And when it came to IT, a lot of people don't realize, but we have the largest IT cluster outside of Silicon Valley is in Ontario. We have over 20,000 IT companies, over 260,000 IT specialists. So some of the universities that we have in Ontario right now are they're feeding the Silicon Valley, they're feeding a lot of other jurisdictions. And then when I spoke with the governor and it says, we got to work together, and he totally understands it, that it's a win-win situation for us to have some synergy and trying to bring our forces together.
Michigan and Canada, of course, have several border crossings,
Yep.
but you talked about the Great Lakes. Any plans on adding other states in the region?
Yeah, so always you start with your base. And then if there is a pull for the other states to join in, and even today we had the Automotive community partnerships at lunch, and I spoke, and already other states says, can we join in? But I think right now we're going to start with a center and build around it. And that's a good way for us to develop a strategy. So immediately we're going to start to develop a plan of how we're going to prioritize the things we should do together. But the supply chain and the innovation agendas are very high on my list of priority.
I don't know if this is still true, but I believe it is, just to give everybody an idea of the scale of the trade that goes on here. I think the top three import-export regions in the United States are number one, the Port of Los Angeles, number two, the Port of New York, number three is Detroit, and it's the trade between Michigan and Canada that is so large.
Yeah, my understanding is about $74 billion that goes between the two countries right now.
So give us a quick thumbnail sketch of what you think some of the first steps will be in terms of this cooperation.
So when I think about the industries and advanced manufacturing right now, I think for a lot of people are thinking about going to Mexico. And I'm saying, if you look at the labor cost of a robot, it's a lot cheaper than Mexican labor. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to really promote advanced manufacturing. In many ways, for us to develop this super cluster, we also have to benchmark some of the best example. And Germany, in many ways, have done a great job, but they're not the low-cost country. And they build a lot of expertise within their cluster, and people say this is a strong automotive industries. I think between Michigan and Ontario, we have the same thing. So we're going to look at a skill set to share. We're going to look at how do we move the innovations. So right now you've got M-City, you've got Planet M, and then Ontario has many different initiatives that we want to promote. We have the smart cities. But even when you look at the highways, between the 401 and Highway 75, that is the main highway that goes from the north to the south. Imagine if we can do something across the borders of a smart highway and smart infrastructures. We're building a brand new bridge right now. Why not take the opportunities to make that a showcase?
Very impressive. Ray Tanguay, thanks so much for bringing us up to speed with the cooperation going on
Thank
between
you.
Ontario and Michigan.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
For the people at Dow, racing is a sport and a science. We enjoy one and learn from the other. But like most competitive people, we like winning at both. Working together, scientists and racing technicians study the impact of new lightweight materials. We look back and learn, so we understand a little better what's on the road ahead. This is the human element at work. Dow.